Shalom and welcome to the books of the prophets. We're in Isaiah chapter 36. We had a very busy week this week with prayer, and we had our oldest boy's wedding this past Friday evening, and it was tremendous. I really enjoyed it. I wish them a blessed honeymoon and a blessed marriage for the rest of their life. And I wish you a blessed day also. So let's join me in the reading of Isaiah starting in chapter 36 verse 1. And it came to be in the 14th year of the sovereign Hezekiah Sennacherib, sovereign of Ashur, come up against the walled cities of Yehudah and took them. And the sovereign of Ashur sent Rabshakeh with the great army from Lachish of sovereign Hezekiah and Jerusalem. And he stood by the channel of the upper pool on the highway of the launderer's field. And there came the Eliakim, son of Hilkiah, who was over the household, and Shebna, the scribe, and Yoha, the son of Asaph, the recorder, and Rabshakeh. Then said to them, Please say to Hezekiah, Thus said the great sovereign, the sovereign of Ashur, what trust is this in which you trust? 5. I say, you speak of having counsel and strength for battle, but they are vain words. Now, in whom do you trust, that you have rebelled against me? Look, you are trusted in the staff of this broken reed, Mizraim, on which if a man leans, it shall go into his own hand and pierce it, so that Pharaoh and the servants of Mizraim to all who trust in him. Mizraim means Egyptians. 7. But if you say to me, we trust in Yahweh our Elohim, it is not he whose high place and whose altars Hezekiah, who has taken away and has said to Yehudah and to Jerusalem, bow yourself before this altar. And now I urge you, please give a pledge to my master, the sovereign of Ashur, and to give you 2,000 horses, if you are able in your part to put riders on them. Let me read this again. Verse 8. And now I urge you, please give a pledge to my master, the sovereign Ashur, and I give you 2,000 horses, if you are able on your part to put riders on them. And how do you refuse one officer of the least of the master's servants, and put your trust in Mizraim for chariots and horsemen? 10. And now I have come up without Yahweh against this land to destroy it. Yahweh said to me, Go up against the land and destroy it. And Eliakim, Shebna, and Yoha said to Rabshakeh, Please speak to your servants in Aramaic, for we understand it, and do not speak to us in the language of Yehudah, in the hearing of the people who are on the wall. But the Rabshakeh said, Has my Master sent me to your master, and to you speak those words, and not to the men who sit on the wall to eat their own dung and drink their own urine with you? And the Rabshakeh stood and called out with a loud voice in the language of Yehuda and said, Hear the words of the great sovereign, the sovereign of Ashur. Thus said the sovereign, Do not let Hezekiah deceive you, for he is unable to deliver you. And do not let Hezekiah make you trust in Yahweh, saying, Yahweh shall certainly deliver us. This city is not given into the hand of the sovereign of Ashur. Do not listen to Hezekiah, for thus said the sovereign Ashur, Make peace with me by a present, and come out to me, and let each of you eat from his own vine, and each from his own fig tree, and each of you drink the water of your own cistern, until I come. Then I shall take you away to the land like your own land, a land of grain and new wine, a land of bread and vineyards. Beware lest Hezekiah mistreat you, saying, Yahweh shall deliver us. Has any one of the mighty ones of the nations delivered its land from the hand of the sovereign of Ashur? Where are the mighty ones of Hamath and Arpad? Where are the mighty ones of Sepharvaim? And where have they delivered Shemron from my hand? 20. Who among all the mighty ones of this land have delivered their land from the hand of Yahweh, would deliver Jerusalem from my hand? But they were silent and answered him not a word, for the command of the sovereign was, Do not answer him. And Eliakim, son of Hezekiah, who was over the household, Shebna, and the scribe of Joah, son of Asaph, the recorder, came to Hezekiah with their garments torn, and they reported to him the words of the Rabshakeh 37. And it came to be when sovereign Hezekiah heard it, that he tore his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of Yahweh, and sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shebna, the scribe, and the elders of the Kohanim, covered themselves with sackcloth, and Yeshayahu the Nabi, the son of Amos, and they said to him, Thus says Hezekiah, this day is the day of distress and rebuke and scorn, for the children have come to birth, but those is no strength to bring forth. Let me read 3 again. And they said to him, Thus said Hezekiah, this is the day. This day is a day of distress and rebuke and scorn, for the children have come to birth, but there is no strength to bring forth. It should be that Yahweh, your Elohim, hears the words of Rabshakeh, whom his master, the sovereign of Ashur, has sent to reproach the living Elohim, and shall rebuke the words which Yahweh your Elohim has heard. Therefore, lift up your prayers for the remnant that is left. 5. So the servants of the sovereign Hezekiah came to Yeshayahu. And Yeshayahu said to them, say this to the master, to your master. Thus says Yahweh, do not be afraid of the words which you have heard, for which the servants of the sovereign Ashur have reviled me. Do not be afraid, for the words which you have heard, with which the servants of the sovereign of Ashur have reviled me. See, I am putting a spirit in him, and he shall hear the report and return to his own land, and he shall cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. And Rabshakeh returned and found that sovereign Ashur fighting against Libnah, for he had heard that he had left Lachish. And he heard concerning Tekoa, son of Cush, he has come out to fight with him. And when he heard it, he sent messengers to Hezekiah, saying, speak to Hezekiah, the sovereign of Yehudah, saying, do not let the Elohim in whom you trust deceive you, saying, Jerusalem is not given into the hand of the sovereign of Ashur. See, you have heard what the sovereign of Ashur have done to all lands by putting them under the ban, and are you going to be delivered? Verse 12. And have the mighty ones of the nations delivered those whom my fathers have destroyed? Gozan, and Haran, and Retseph, and the sons of Eden, who were in Telasar. Where is the sovereign of Hamath, and the sovereign of Apad, and the sovereign of the city of Sepharwaim, Hannah, and Ewa? And Hezekiah received the letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up to the house of Yahweh and spread it before Yahweh. 15. And Hezekiah prayed to Yahweh, saying, O Yahweh of hosts, Elohim of Israel, the one who dwells between the cherubim, you are Elohim, you alone, all of all the reigns of the earth. You have made the Shemayim and earth. Incline your ear, O Yahweh, and hear. Open your eyes, O Yahweh, and see, and hear all the words of Sennacherib, who has sent to report the living Elohim. Let me read this again. Include your ear, O Yahweh, and hear. Open your eyes, O Yahweh, and see, and hear all the words of Sennacherib, who has sent to reproach the living Elohim. Truly, Yahweh the sovereign of Ashur have laid waste all the land and all their land, and have put the mighty ones into the fire, for they were not mighty ones, but the work of man's hands, wood and stone, and they destroyed them. And now, O Yahweh, our Elohim, save us from his hand, so that all the reigns of the earth know that you are Yahweh, you alone. Then Yeshayahu, son of Amos, son of Hezekiah, saying, then Yeshayahu, Isaiah, son of Amos, sent to Hezekiah, saying, thus says Yahweh Elohim of Israel, because you have prayed to me against Sennacherib, sovereign of Ashur, and this is the word which Yahweh has spoken concerning him. The maiden, the daughter of Zion, has despised you, marked you. The daughter of Jerusalem has shaken her head behind you, whom you have reproached and reviled, and against whom you have raised your voice and lifted up your eyes in pride, against against the Kodesh one of Israel, in other words, against the Holy One of Israel. By the hand of your servants you have reproached Yahweh and said, with my many chariots I have come up to the height of the mountains, to the limits of Lebanon, and I cut down the tall cedars and its short cypress trees. And I entered its farthest heights, its thickest forests, and I have dug and drunk water, and with the soles of my feet I have dried up the streams of defense. 26. Have you not heard long ago how I made it from the days of old, that I formed it? Now I have brought it about, and you should be for crushing walled cities into heaps of ruins. And their inhabitants were powerless, and their overflow, and put to shame. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green plant, as the grass on the housetops, and as the grain blighted before it is grown. But I know you're sitting down, and you're going out, and you're coming in, and you rage against me, because your rage against me and your pride have come up to my ears. I shall put my hook in your nose and my bridle in your lips, and I shall turn your back by the way which you came. 30. And this shall be the sign for you. This year you eat such as grows in itself. And the second year what springs from that. And in the third year sow and reap, plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. And the remnant who have escaped from the house of Yehudah shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem comes forth a remnant, and those who escape from Mount Zion, the outdoor of Yahweh of hosts does this. Therefore thus says Yahweh concerning the sovereign of Ashur, he does not come into the city, nor does he shoot an arrow there, nor does he come before it with shield, nor does he build a siege mound against it. By the way that he came, by the same he turns back, and into the city he does not come, declares Yahweh, and I shall defend the city to save it for my own sake and for the sake of my servant David. And the messenger of Yahweh went out and killed in the camp of Ashur 185,000. And they arose early in the morning and saw all of them dead bodies. And Sennacherib, the sovereign of Ashur, broke camp and went away and turned back and remained at Nineveh. And it came to be, as he was bowing himself to the house of Nisroch, his mighty one, that his sons Adramelech and Sarezer smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Arad, and his son Asherad reigned in his place. Thus we complete the reading of Isaiah. Until next time, may Yah shine his light onto your path. May he lead you into his truth and righteousness and give you his shalom. In Yeshua's name, amen. Shalom.